All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to you brothers out there pushing this truth in sincerity. All right. Spirit had me to do this little lesson. And it's on the first script one of the first scriptures I learned when I came into the truth. So, Lord willing, the young men who are coming into this faith, they get edified by this. And, all you brothers who've been in this truth for a good time, I hope this will be like a refresher course for you. All right, so Baba Kashab, bro, read it.
It's Matthew 10:16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
All right, so the scripture says, "Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves." Now, that's going into when you're coming into this truth. This doesn't mean that you can automatically start cussing out people just because you have the truth. You got to play the game wisely. It's like playing chess. A perfect example of this scripture would be Superman, because Superman he has his day-to-day life too. He has a job as a reporter. He's not Superman in the morning and then in the night. No, he's Clark Kent at day and Superman at night. And he's playing it wise because he doesn't want, his enemies to find out who he is in reality,
Doesn't want to blow his cover.
Exactly, Thawanak.
Okay.
So, and you also have to be harmless as a dove. So Superman, he seems like a docile man when he's Clark Kent,
An
like
everyday Joe.
an everyday Joe, you know. So that's how you have to be in this truth, because the wolves in this scripture represents the 2/3 in the whole world who's against you ultimately,
Yeah.
because one wrong move and it's game over.
That's right. That's right.
All right, so let's get the second scripture. Let's jump
Okay.
into it.
Matthew 10:35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against mother-in-law, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
All right, now we're gonna jump back to verse 35,
Mhm.
and we're gonna look at the word variance, and we're gonna look into it the Greek. So now I can take some. Uh, Salakia,
That's cool.
uh, the Greek is dekadzo, which is to cut into two parts, to cleave,
Mm.
sever.
Mm.
All right. So if you could read 35 one more time, brother.
Matthew 10:35. For I have come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Now, same thing. Ultimately, when you're coming into the truth and you try to explain these kinds of things to your household, you know, you're gonna that whole family, that whole life you had before you came into the truth, that's all gonna be cut off, because you're gonna be like the black sheep in the household. Read 36.
It says, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
And like I said, your enemies are gonna be those people in your family. They're gonna call you crazy. They're gonna be, you know, they're gonna try and do everything possible they can do to get you out of the truth.
Yep.
You
That's
know,
why it's like, bro. That's why it's better. That's why it's better just not to even talk to them about this. For brothers newly coming in, if you haven't gone to that point where you started to talk to your parents about this, don't do it. You know. And for brothers out there that have already started telling them a little bit about it, just stop. Just be that brother that doesn't eat pork. And that and then just kind of just just refrain yourself from trying to teach everybody. Because like the brother said, he made a good point. Clark Kent, he does his thing. He goes to work, and while he's at work, he's not revealing himself to everybody like that. So that's why you have to be wise, because we're in the midst of wolves. So it's very integral that you keep that balance in your day-to-day life. It's lucky, bro.
no, no, and I also wanted to say, if you're around your family, conduct yourself how they remember you as,
Yeah.
but gradually start conducting yourself in a different manner.
Yeah.
Because this truth is time and patience. Not after hearing the truth once you're gonna become a super
Yeah.
Israelite. No, it takes
Step by
time.
step.
I'm gonna quote Rocky Balboa what he told Apollo Creed's son. He said, "One punch, one round, uh, one step at a time." You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's basically even in sports. You can't just automatically think, "Oh, I'm gonna be good at this." No, you gotta practice at this. We're rehearsing the righteous acts.
That's right. Hey, also like when you're first learning how to drive. When you're first learning how to drive, you're not hopping on the freeway right away. That's foolish. You're gonna destroy yourself. The scripture says, "Be not righteous over much." So you take your time with this thing. It's good that you have that fire and that passion in you to really go hard, but you have to understand that this is a trial. This is a trial of patience, like the brother said. When you're learning how to drive, you're practicing putting the key in the ignition, turning the car on correctly. You're practicing holding the brake down while reversing and pulling out of the driveway. Staying on the right hand side and things of that nature. So when you're first coming into the truth, you want to read, learn how to read the scriptures effectively. You want to learn from the men out there doing this word. You want to just stick to the basics, stick to the milk, learn, grow. And don't start teaching all the people in your family. These are very important things to remember. Is just to pace yourself, because through the spirit, there's going to be a lot of you younger brothers waking up to this truth, and these are things that you have to know. Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. This is a precious jewel that the Lord gave you, so you want to make sure that you don't cast your pearls before swine. The Lord chose you, not your family. If the Lord wants to wake your family up, He'll do it. But yeah,
Through you.
through you, it'll make sure you're in that Clark Kent mentality, like the brother was talking about. So like,
All right, now let's go to verse 37.
gone. Matthew 10:37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
All right, so if you're a young man in this truth and you love your parents, they're the most important thing in your life. You know, the Lord ain't gonna, He ain't gonna dance to that tune,
That's right.
so to speak, because you're supposed to honor the Most High. Yeah, you're supposed to show respect
Honor
to
your
your mom and
mother and
dad,
father. Yeah.
right? But you have to show more love toward the Most High. Push the word harder. That order went out for brothers with 2 years and more. Start pushing out videos. You know, and that's how you show the Most High you love Him, by works.
That's right.
And if you're a man who has seeds, and you love your children more than you love the Most High, then you're still not worthy of the Most High. Because at the end of the day, if you're a man who has kids and you push the word of the Most High until the missiles drop, then the Most High will save your seeds, but through your works.
That's right. That's right, brother. Hey, because the brother made a good point, because if you love your father and your mother more than the Most High, and you're seeking to be accepted of them, you know, then that's gonna by default, you're gonna by default do the things that they do, which is wickedness. Celebrating these unholy days, celebrating, eating unclean things, going to church, just doing all kind of wicked things that you're not supposed to do. Don't get me wrong. If you're first coming into this truth, it's a step by step thing. You know, that's a trial that the Lord gives you. You know, but through the Spirit, He always provides a way for escape. You know, just make sure that you don't you're not over righteous with these things. Like, oh, say they want to say it's Christmas time. Say you woke up a few months before Christmas time, and you feel in the spirit that you can't partake in Christmas with your parents. That's a trial. How are you gonna go about not doing that anymore? Basically, you have to gird your loins up like a man, and tell your parents, "Oh, I'm not doing the Christmas thing, because through your spirit, brothers know their parents, and whatnot. You don't want to be over righteous, but just know that you will be hit with some trials after a few months coming in. But you have to be wise about it, like the brother said. So That's what I had to say. Salak.
Well, I guess we'll just wrap up this lesson. I hope y'all brothers was edified. And until the next video, shalom.
Shalom.